Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Faye Mohammed, and welcome to the I Is A podcast. And this is our first live show that we're doing here, and we have actually breaking news. We are here live from Studio The Hague in the Netherlands, and today we're going to discuss a little bit about Dutch politics, because currently we are in a very, very, very volatile situation. So let's just get straight into it, guys. Yesterday, the cabinet of the Netherlands, the Tweede Kamer, and the parliament, basically the parliament decided Geert Wilders, the person who won the election, let's say 11 months ago, he's considered a far right-wing Muslim populist, a populist that is anti-Islam rhetoric. Basically what happened is that he pulled the rug out of the cabinet. Basically, he had the majority vote. And it was basically, he said it was about migration. So the Netherlands is now currently in a small chaos because it was already really hard to form a cabinet. And today I just want to go through some things. I gathered some content, some information from different international news. And I just want to go over, let's just watch what some other media have to say about Mr. Wilders. Okay, 1 second. That's a Dutch video. Let's see what Reuters has to say, right? Okay, a lot of people respect Reuters. You can say or think about it what you will, but I have a video here of Reuters. Let's go start play that.
Dutch far-right leader Geert Wilders' PVV party left the governing coalition on Tuesday. The decision is set to topple the right-wing government and will likely lead to new elections in the Netherlands.
Ik heb de minister-president.
I also just informed the Prime Minister that I will withdraw the PVV ministers from the cabinet and that we can no longer bear responsibility for this. I signed for the strictest asylum policy, not for the downfall of the Netherlands. And our responsibility for this cabinet therefore ends at this moment.
Wilders said his coalition partners were not willing to support his ideas on halting asylum migration. Prime Minister Dick Schoof has not yet reacted to the resignation. The surprising move ends a fragile coalition that has struggled to reach.
That's the King of the Netherlands, Willem-Alexander, some ministers.
The prospect of a new
this
election
is, I think, in Amsterdam.
Political uncertainty in the Eurozone's fifth largest economy. Local residents hoped fresh elections could bring stability to the country.
I hope that with the new elections we will choose, or that it will lead to a government that's more moderate and that has more eye for reality and for inclusivity of all people and all animals.
Others were more skeptical.
I think there will be a new election and Wilders will be the biggest party, so he can control it. So no more others who will annoy him, so he can do like Trump is doing and other European country where extreme right is taking over.
The move will also likely delay a decision on increasing defense spending to meet new NATO targets. And it will leave the Netherlands with only a caretaker government when it receives NATO country leaders for a summit to decide on these targets in The Hague later this month.
Well. So basically, yeah, so let's just go through this video, right? So this is Reuters. It's a big news agency from the US, if I'm not mistaken. They're also a rating agency. They do a lot more things, also like financial things and stuff. But what this says is we have a trend of it going to the right? The political landscape. It's going to go a little bit to the right. It's going to go a little bit that way because for a long period in time, we had left-wing governments or centrist to leftist governments in Europe. And what you see, look at Poland. Poland, I think 3 days ago, won an election with a right-winger, anti-Europe, right? Then we have now the Netherlands. Okay, Geert Wilders, we had a right cabinet, but he pulled the rug under his own cabinet. And that's the thing, right? Listen, we need to know something about Geert Wilders because I really want to go into this. I'm not here trying to score and bash Mr. Wilders because there's more than enough content out there to explain to you what type of person this is. So, but what is like... He was a what we call a centrum right politician. That's how he started. He started at the VVD, so that's the a party that's mostly for entrepreneurs. Good rules for that entrepreneurship. You see that a lot of entrepreneurs support that party. That's where he came from, right? So he's been in politics for a long time. But this damn joker, right? He is like, it's like, what the F, right? It's like every time it's like, what the F? Sorry for the timing. That was bad timing. I need to work on my timing. So that was like, it's like crazy. So if you let's look at his total package, right? He said he's going to have the best asylum program of Europe ever. The best asylum program. We're going to have the strictest rules and nobody's going to come inside. We're going to put in the army at the border and they're going to make sure no illegal immigrants get out of this. It's like, dude, like in what type of... This is my reaction. Like, what the hell, bro? Like, okay, you want to deploy troops? Okay, fine. You had 11 months. And in 11 months' time, only thing you did was talk. I did not see any significant resolutions. And okay, then you can say, okay, maybe some parties, they worked against you and whatever. All right, fine. But all those parties in previous governments, for instance, they found a way to do it. And I understand right now, this is not the best time to be friends with left and right. But I don't know if you guys noticed, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the stupid one. We have almost World War III. We have Ukraine, Russia. We have Israel, Gaza. We have Sudan. We have now an American general who's talking about, maybe Burkina Faso needs some liberty, right? So all this nonsense rhetoric, what's going on currently in the world. So for everybody who's now watching all over the world, if you think your own country is maybe a third world country, or you're from Africa, or you're from South America, and you think, I am living in this banana republic here. Dude, I live in the Netherlands. We live in the Netherlands. And I can tell you, honestly, that this is a clownesque country when it comes to politics. There's a lot of things we've arranged very well. So if you think your government is a joke, let me just tell you honestly, our country is also a joke when it comes to it. So we are no better than any other country. So this was an 11-month experiment, and let's just say this about because Mr. Wilders, we already tried this like a lot of years ago. The same party, the VVD, also together with Partij van de Vrijheid, the Freedom Party of Wilders, tried to start a coalition. And again, then it felt after it was also like a year or 14 months or less than a year. Now it's 11 months. So Mr. Wilders, if for everybody who's going to come to this country from whatever ethnicity you are, I understand we have politicians who say fuck Muslims, fuck Islam, fuck this, fuck that. There's a lot of European countries that's now going on. But let me just tell you, the general Dutch person is not that. We are a country, dude. Listen, we are the most liberal country in the world. There's no country more liberal than the Netherlands. We could already smoke weed in like the 60s or 70s. Prostitution was legal for forever, it seems to us. We had the red light districts. All these things we already had like in the 70s, 80s we're speaking about. So we have very good gay rights, a lot of rights for what people may think that's important, right? Because this is a secular country. So we have been the one of the most hospitable countries when it comes to that. And given a lot of people are tired of that, right? They're tired of that. So what I want to do is let's go look at a few. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna give you a Dutch video, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause it a little bit and then give you an explanation what Mr. Wilders here said. So bear with me 1 second.
De minister-president net ook laten weten dat ik de PVV-bewindslieden uit het kabinet zal terugtrekken.
Ook met het vertrek van de PVV er onvoldoende draagvlak is.
Oh, one second. Let me replay this. This didn't go really well.
De minister-president net ook laten weten dat ik de PVV-bewindslieden uit het kabinet zal terugtrekken.
Ook met het vertrek van de PVV er onvoldoende draagvlak is.
Oh, I see. You cannot see the.
Voor dit
Wait.
kabinet.
Let me change the scene for everybody. 1 second. Now you can see it better. Yeah.
De minister-president net ook laten weten dat ik de PVV-bewindslieden uit het kabinet zal terugtrekken.
Ook met het vertrek van de PVV er onvoldoende draagvlak is in de Tweede Kamer voor dit kabinet.
That's the Prime Minister, Mr. Schoof. And indeed, Dutch government has collapsed. Here you see it. This is the English newspaper, guys, The Guardian.
De PVV heeft de kiezers beloofd om het strengste asielbeleid ooit en het strengste beleid tot de strengste landen van Europa te horen. We hebben een plan voorgesteld om de grenzen te sluiten voor asielzoekers, ze tegen te houden, weg te sturen. Daar heb ik de handtekening van de coalitiegenoten, voormalige coalitiegenoten moet ik zeggen, onder gevraagd. Althans onder het merendeel van die maatregelen. Dat hebben ze niet gedaan. Ze zeggen van nou ja, dien er maar in. Of misschien dat we een motie kunnen indienen om het te onderzoeken. Of vraag je minister maar om iets te maken. Maar dat is natuurlijk geen garantie dat iets door een ministerraad of door de Tweede Kamer komt. Dus ik kon niets anders doen nu dan te zeggen, dan trekken wij onze steun aan dit kabinet in.
Oh.
In het hoofdlijnakkoord zijn daardoor 4 partijen afspraken.
I'm gonna just play this again. Just gonna irritate the hell out of everybody.
Afgelopen maanden heeft het kabinet hard gewerkt aan de uitvoering daarvan. Maar als bij één partij de wil ontbreekt om daarmee door te gaan, kan je niet met elkaar verder. Dat ik direct hierna naar de koning ga om het ontslag van de PVV-bewindspersonen aan te bieden. De overige bewindspersonen gaan demissionair door.
Listen, guys, believe me, my country is like a joke when it comes to these type of things. You'll be surprised at like.
Ja, wat een dag, een jaar lang verkeren de...
This is I need to fix the autoplay on YouTube. This is really bad. All right, okay. So then again, we saw another fragment, right, of The Guardian. We have another. Let's go to another news channel, right? Let's just look at what the world has to say about the Netherlands. This is from, let's see, DW News. To be honest, okay, this is a German and public broadcast. So we have German news. We had, I have so many links. This is a worldwide phenomenon. I don't know why this is so popular, but it is really popular around the world. So let's go look at DW News from Germany. Let's see what our German counterparts have to say about the clown show in the Netherlands. Not that they're any better, because to be honest, Germany is fairly clownesque at the moment. Similar, very similar. Let's go take a look.
Begin with breaking news from the Netherlands. Far-right lawmaker Geert Wilders has pulled his party out of the ruling four-party Dutch coalition in a dispute over migration. He announced his decision on social media. Wilders said his coalition partners were not willing to back his ideas of halting what he called asylum migration. He announced the plan last week and demanded his coalition partners give him immediate support.
Okay, right, guys. Wait, so I'll pause the video. Let's just give some context. So Geert Wilders, this is his stance. So he's a populist right, anti-Islam, anti-this, anti-that. So he doesn't like Syrian migrants, Moroccans, whatever. All these. He has a famous saying, I guess, which he was prosecuted for, is that, do you want more or less Moroccan people? Less. And then he made a chant about it when he had like a big electoral result like years ago. He was prosecuted, and I think he was punished for that. Well, you cannot really punish, but you know, like for a politician, because they have very enhanced protections for freedom of speech. So this was all about migration. And the thing is that his coalition party existed of three other coalition parties. The VVD, which is what I said, a entrepreneurial centrum right-winged party. For me, a right-winged, I would say, not centrum right-winged, but just they call it decent right? He's like extreme right, Wilders. That's how they can say it. These are not my terms, guys, but this is how they pronounce it, right, in the news. Then you have what we call Bay. That's like a farmer's party by Caroline from the Plus. Well, she initially started as this farmer's party with a protest where they tried to steal the farmers' land, which I totally agree with that protest, because those farmers were actually right. They just wanted to bully them out of the way with like horrible legislation. So initially, I had a good feeling about her, but then after that, it was only about Israel. So there you go, right? Let's just go with them boys, their talking points, and she basically turned into Israel party. Well, we're going to leave for another show, do another episode about that, right? Because there we have a lot to say about that too. But right now it's about the Dutch politician. And then we had a new party, which was called NSC. In Dutch, I think it's called Nieuw Sociaal Contract. That is the Dutch term for it. And it was the leader of that was a person called Pieter Omtzigt. Well, actually, a couple of weeks, I would say, not even 2 months, I think, he retired from politics. So he gained a massive electoral result because he was basically bullied out of his previous party called the CDA. Those were like the Christian Democrats. He was bullied out of that party. And basically there was a whole big scandal. I will go into that for maybe another time. And basically they tried to destroy this man because he figured out something horrible in the Netherlands that affected thousands of parents with children. So basically the government was in like this big scam they created for themselves. Basically 30,000, I don't know the exact number, sorry guys, I don't want to speculate, but it was thousands. I'll get to that in another episode, but it was thousands of families that were like ripped apart by claims of fraud, which were not grounded in a majority of the time. And there were racist tools used by the tax office to identify these people of certain migrants, colors, and backgrounds. All right, so this is where this is all. I say it all to you to give you all some context as how this Wilders was created, right? So because of all these wars, we had mass migration, all these things, and so this was one of the key points for this year, migration. And to be honest, guys, I'm a Muslim, but I don't like migration either. I don't want like unvetted people coming from war-torn countries with PTSD and all these type of things in my country, and I have a daughter and a son walking around here. I don't want that either. So it's not that, I have this bad thing against refugees. No, because I also at the same time say, if you don't want any refugees, maybe it's an idea if you stop bombing them. Maybe if you stop bombing their houses, they wouldn't come here, right? Because before we started throwing bombs on Syria, did any of you in the Netherlands ever heard about a Syrian person? I never heard about these people, right? I only heard about them as soon as the war started. I never knew about Ukrainians. I know nothing about Ukrainians. Now there are so many Ukrainians here. You want to know why? Because we start throwing bombs. So maybe if we stop throwing bombs, then probably we won't have this migration problem. Okay, let's go. So this is how Mr. Wilders is created. One-man party. By the way, yeah, he is a one-man party. So it's not democratic at all. So he is the ruler. He's a single single ruler in his own party. Other people have no say. He can just kick you out of the party without any reason, right? Okay, let's see what DW News has to say more.
Let's get more from DW correspondent Lucia Schulten in Brussels. Lucia, what does this mean? Is this the end of the Dutch government?
So things are still developing, and as we see things here, it is the end of the Dutch government with the far-right PVV party, Party for the Vrijheid. So it will be the end of the Dutch government as we know it for now. It is still unclear what happens next, so there will be another meeting taking place, and what then actually the next steps are, we have to see. What is important to understand is what brought us here. So we have heard about this migration plan that Geert Wilders, who himself was not a member of this government, but 5 of his ministers were, did feel he did not get the support for a very strict plan on cutting migration, where he did, for example, foresee that land border guards would be included in order to curb the migration to the country. So this has been far-reaching ideas. And in the end, then this morning, after meetings before, he took it out on X, saying that he will withdraw his ministers from the government.
What does this mean for the Netherlands moving forward? How much of an influence does Geert Wilders have?
Yeah,
when
okay,
it comes
this is the
to
nice
national
question. Let's see what she has
in
to
the
say
country?
about this, Miss Germany. Let's see.
So he won the last elections in 2023, and then it took quite a while for the country to come up with a government, with a functioning government. And then the compromise, so to say, was that Geert Wilders is in the back, that he is not himself a member of the government. Okay. But of course, his far-right idea...
All right, okay, so I want to go into this a little bit, right? So she's actually totally right. In 2023, they won the elections, like I said, right? We're now 2025, but so it's people think it's 2 years. No, it's not 2 years because it took months to form a cabinet because they couldn't agree. Every was small majority here, so a small majority there. So we have two chambers in the Netherlands, right? So normally they call it like, let's say, the Senate and the House of Representatives, right? So we have, in the Netherlands, we call it the Tweede Kamer and the first chamber. So the first chamber and the second chamber, right? Tweede Kamer, Eerste Kamer. That's how we call it. The first chamber is what you call basically the Senate. It's the legislative part that agrees upon laws. They don't have actually that much power. They're there to just check the law itself that has been created and to see if it passes tests and those type of things. They're not the people who create the law in the first place. That's what the second chamber do. They have 150 people, 150 representatives in there, and in the first chamber we have 75. So in the Senate, 75 representatives, and in the House of in the Senate 75 representatives, and in the House of Representatives, the Tweede Kamer, we have 150. Right, so it took so long time. Four parties were needed to form a government, like small, because you need a majority in the first and in the second chamber. But in the Netherlands, we don't vote those two chambers at the same day. We always vote. Let's say for now so we're gonna have an election this year probably. So we're gonna have an election for the second chamber this year. But after 2 years, I don't know exactly, could be even already next year, 2 years after we normally have elections, we have it for the first chamber. So sometimes it could be that you maybe have a majority in one chamber, but not in the other. So that makes ruling very problematic because every 2 years you have elections for either one of those chambers. So that was hard. So it already took months. So that's why it's like 11 months. All right? Let's watch this.
Ideas did shape the government and also resounded with what the people wanted back then. And that was mainly also a campaign on curbing migration and having a very strict stance on that. So this government has been in place for around 11 months. Now it needs to be seen. There will be meetings taking place. It needs to be seen what happens next. It is...
Yeah, so this was his compromise for forming that cabinet. So basically, nobody wanted a populist president because of international relationships. So the Netherlands, guys, is a diplomatic country. We have one of the most powerful passports. If you look at our country, we're like top 10 in our passports. I'm going to go into some other parts here, right? We're best in agriculture. We're best in water management, and we have the largest. We are the largest and the best producer of chip machines, not chips, chip machines. The machines. Who make the machines for the chips, basically. That's what we are good at. So those are three key industries. So the Netherlands is a very international country that has a lot of diplomacy. We have a big port in Rotterdam. All our goods that flow into France, Belgium, a lot that go to the UK, to Germany, that all flows through our country because of our river system, our geolocation. So the Dutch people didn't want like a populist president that's going to ruin all these relationships. So the other party said, listen, okay, we're going to rule with you, but you're not going to be in this cabinet. You can be in the opposition ruling your party, but we don't want you as the face of our country. And that's why we have another president called Dick Schoof. Dick Schoof, well, ex-president now. Hey, bye, Dick. We're going to miss you very much. And see you later. So bye-bye, Dick. I'm not going to miss you at all. So I'll make an episode about you specifically because not a lot of people know your background. And I'm going to talk about that extensively because I think a lot of people would be interested about it. So that is why Geert Wilders was not in his own cabinet. So look at this, guys. For the first time in history, I think maybe, I don't know, people need to check me on this. Please correct me. I think for the first time in history, we had somebody who wasn't even in the cabinet himself. He was not a minister. He didn't have any position. For the first time ever, somebody basically as a ruling party, but in the second chamber, not as a member of cabinet, pulled the rug out of under his own 5 ministers and blew up the cabinet because he didn't like it. That is Geert Wilders, my people. That is this clown-ass country. This is this stuff can only happen in the Netherlands.
Possible, or for example, the Dutch NOS, it's a public broadcaster, expects more meetings to take place, but then in the end, the current government to stay in place as a caretaker government, but then in the course of the coming days, that Dick Schoof, who is the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, that he would go to the King and offer the resignation of the government. And this could, but also that is a bit too early to say, this could all in the end lead to new elections where the country could choose its path in a new direction, so to say. But all of this is still early days, so stay tuned.
And we sure will.
Yeah. So, okay, guys. All right. This is what I say with clownesque country, right? So we have now caretaker government. Caretaker government basically means they're there to just do the things that need to be done, the signatures for all the daily things, but they're not going to make any major decisions. So that is the current situation that I would like to say regarding Dutch politics. So it's a clownesque country. What is going to happen, to be honest? I think this was indeed the last chance that a right-wing government had a chance to do so, because Geert Wilders has done this trick now twice. And it's hard for me to believe that people are going to trust him after this. So that's my opinion regarding Geert Wilders. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. New information. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know. But what I do know is, okay, what does this mean for us? I equals A, right? Intelligence equals adaptability. Okay, right, guys? So Wilders is basically a Timu version of Trump, right? He basically wants to be Trump. So, but if you ordered it at Timu, you get like Geert Wilders, right? The same blonde hair, the ridiculous head and stuff. Also, you have this Eric race, like I don't know, we call it in Dutch Aries. I don't know the exact translation. Like from this descendant of that you're this, I don't know, a royal descent or something. He wants to have like that look. Well, he ain't nothing like that, but that's like his goal. So he wants to purify the Netherlands. He thinks there are too much migrants here. Well, Geert, we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen in the near future. And to be honest, thank you for proving again me right. So thank you for that. So I was proven right again. I gave this government less than a year, and actually my prediction was right, 11 months. So I was almost sweating that I'm thinking you guys going to make a year. So I would lost a huge bet. But Geertje, hey, you're the man. Thank you, and love it. All right. Okay, let me go to my next topic, and intelligence equals adaptability, guys. So listen up, man. Don't be a damn douchebag now is gonna sit at home. I'm gonna go fight for another politician, and he's gonna change my life. Left, right, bullshit, guys. Politicians are not going to change your outlook on life. So what this means, intelligence equals adaptability. So we're now in a wave of political landscape going to the right. So in the Netherlands, we'll probably go a little bit more to the center, but generally it's going to the right. Okay, the good part is I don't like woke and all those type of things. You know, I'm going to be honest. I'm not that like, oh, you can't talk about anything about it. No, I just don't like it. If you want to do it in your own time, but don't take taxpayer money, right? So that's what the good thing I like about right things. And also these things, let's just talk about this. He's right-winged and he's left-winged. Like, dude, come on. There are some things you think about more left-oriented, and there's some things you think more about right-oriented. There is no such thing as right and left. For me personally, there are things I think about that are more left, and there are things I think are more about right. Now, and because the news shows cannot classify me basically what I am, they just tell you based on a few things you say you're right or you're either left. So yes, those clownesque things also happen in the Netherlands. But what you need to do is understand this. Our job is just to report the facts, and for you to understand how you need to move and adapt. That is what we do here, guys. So now that you know this, if you think that just because voting is going to change your outlook on life, you're wrong, my friend. Why? Because it just took 11 months and the cabinet already fell. There's no law they're going to make to better your life. Yes, you can count on that, but don't build your future basically on that, okay? So what do we need to do? That's the main question now. What do we need to do? What we need to do is that understand that it's probably going to be a little bit more centrist, also a little bit more leftist. So understand that those are people who like more a little bit rules, regulations. They want to check every €100 that you have in cash and you put on your bank account, you need to give explanation for. They want every transaction above €200, everything needs to be green. So you're going to have more of that agenda. So if you're an entrepreneur and you follow ISA, your thought needs to be, okay, how can I incorporate some projects that are a little bit more centrist and left-minded, so I maybe get some subsidies, better loans, look maybe your clientele list. So adapt, guys, adapt to the situation. Do not complain. We are not the complain show. We are here to complain and get a solution. That's what we do. You can complain. I don't have no problem with people complaining. But if you complain, you're not going to be the guy who complains and just sits there. You need to complain. And after you complain, come up with a solution. Or else I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested in it. Okay? So adapt. What more do we need to do then? Okay, I told you about business-wise. Relationship-wise, not a lot to do. I guess we're going to a more conservative period, so I think for guys it will be a little bit better. We've went through this wave of feminism, and I'm happy that's now starting to slow down a little bit, right? I'm going to go into a lot of more topics regarding the how would I say, social dynamics, I guess, in the Netherlands. It's not the main thing that I do, but I do think it's very nice to talk about that, right? Social dynamics and our dating problems, our housing problems. We have a lot of problems which I think a lot of the rest of the world can relate to. Now, on a more other side, so we had religion, we had business, culturally. I think culturally some things are going to change because we had a very strong migrant thing. Oh, to be honest, this whole migrant crisis, let's just be honest. I think there are only 2 to 3 parties in the Netherlands that really welcome migration. That's like 2 to 3 that really like migration. Okay, let everybody come in. You get a car. That mentality, right? So we have that. But generally speaking, even if people are leftists in this country, they're tired of the whole migration thing. And to be honest, me too, right? So we're tired of that. So I don't think that's going to change. So what does it more say for you? What do you need to think about more? We had economics, we had entrepreneurship, employment. We look at maybe international. So my point is, guys, in this case, there's not a lot going to change. So what was my message in the first place? Politics, it doesn't matter what happens. The only thing you need to follow in politics is what I call your bottom line. Follow rules that are interesting for your bottom line. So why would I say you follow divorce laws? Because if you're a guy who has money, you need to know divorce laws, because else maybe your girl or your ex-wife or whatever is going to take your damn money. So you only follow in politics what is necessary for you. All the other nonsense that's going out there, to be honest, they have so many meetings in the Chamber of Commerce, in our parliament. And if you see the amount of resolutions that actually come from it, it's terrible. I'm not gonna lie. It's just damn near terrible. So let's go to some. So the conclusion is no, guys. This ISA, you don't need to change a lot because it's still a clown show either way. Tomorrow it's gonna be a clown show. It was yesterday that, and that's not no new parliament member that's gonna come is gonna make that more right. And to be honest, it's not like there are a lot of new parties in the cabinet. Because the parties before this also made a mess and they were also sent home. So the last two cabinets were sent home. So what are we talking about? The situation is not going to get better. So guys, just focus on what you need to do. Get better, work on your dopamine, work on your testosterone. That will get up your motivation. Once your motivation is up, you need to understand healthy fear and how the world works. You travel, you talk to experts, and you study history. That will get you disciplined. If you have motivation and you now add discipline, we already have the basis and the maintenance for the car engine. If we now understand willpower, right? We understand how we can calibrate our life. We have 5 friends around us. That's where you need to focus up. Focus on MDW5. Do not focus on all these nonsense things. What we focus on is just to get better step by step. All right. Let's talk about some new things. I'm looking for the right sound. Oh, no, this is a zero sound of a hollow of Bleach. Yes, guys, I'm an anime geek. Oh, yes. Our new show. Oh, no, this is also not good. Let's not try this one. I'm still figuring this thing out, guys. Oh, no, this is the sad song. We cannot do this. Let me just test this out. I didn't use the correct stuff in here. Let me see. We got the Den Mushi. No, we don't need that. I want to have the... Yes. Let's go to our next segment. I want to talk about what is the Netherlands good at. A lot of people may don't know, but our country is way more important than you could ever imagine. It doesn't matter where in the world you live. Without the Netherlands, your countries will have a hard time to exist. And let me explain. We have a population of approximately 18 million. And there are 3 things that we do that no other country can do better than us. And let's start with the first. And I'll go to show you an article of the Washington post. Let's go. All right. Let me put this out. All right, here we go. Can I Okay. I hope you guys can read it. This is an article of the Washington Post, guys. I think this was an article from 2022. And here it says, right, cutting edge tech made this tiny country a major exporter of food. The Netherlands has used advances in vertical farming, seed technology, and robotics to become a global model. Well, this article has a lot of text. I'm not going to go into it totally, but what I do want to do is just go through some of those numbers that are here. So the Netherlands has, as you see here, 4 million cows, 13 million pigs, and 104 million chickens annually. And we are Europe's biggest meat exporter, right, in Europe. Can you see? And our country only has 24,000 acres. It's like twice the size of Manhattan, guys. Come on, it's not that big, right? And we grow a lot of our crops also in greenhouses, but we're very good at that. Let's see. There's one thing more in this article that I wanted to show. I don't know exactly where it was. Okay, right. Here you see the scale. This is really nice to see how small this thing is. So read this article, guys. But what I want you to know is we are the biggest food exporter. And in the Netherlands, we had a cabinet behind this who tried to destroy our farmers. So I don't know. Listen, guys, I'm not the most, let's say, smart one. But I do know one thing. And that is that population increases. Yeah, 8 billion worldwide is increasing. Planet is getting hotter, right? So we're going to have some trouble growing crops. And we say, let's kill our farmers because in a time when there's food scarcity, the right decision is to ostracize your farmers who built this country and own approximately 70% of the land mass. Let's try that. Right, that's a good move. No, guys, it's stupid. I spoke with a guy who has a butcher. Right, I spoke to him. I said, listen up, man. What does the Netherlands do that's so different from any other world? So it comes to our breeding programs. We can have, let's for instance say pig, who have more young ones, offspring. Same with chickens, or they can nurse more. They can get fatter. So we are the best in that. So we exported a lot of that knowledge to all parts of the world, and they used our agriculture techniques from greenhouses and whatever to do that. So if the Netherlands, that is why the Netherlands is so important, and nobody basically attacks it. It's because they know we are the best of the best when it comes to agriculture, right? Okay. Second reason you must love the Netherlands, right? I'm promoting the Netherlands. Hey, and Dutch government, do not kill me. I'm promoting the Netherlands. I hate Wilders and the government, but I don't hate this country, right? So let me promote it. The second thing is, okay, let's go to it. Basically, this is just a Google search, so I'm not going to show it, to be honest. Let me just, water management in the Netherlands. I'll just give you the website then. Okay, let me see. Well, actually, you have a small video here. Let's just go look at it. It's a 5-minute video, so I hope it's not too long. Let's see, I haven't seen this. Okay, this looks nice. What am I looking at?
The Netherlands has been living
nice
with
voiceover.
water intensively since its earliest history. For us, it's a source of great wealth and opportunity.
This is actually a bridge in the Netherlands. It's insane.
Risks and carries a continuous reason.
Okay, I'm not gonna listen to all this stuff.
But in 1798,
okay, this is like a whole
the
history stuff.
Engineer Christian.
Okay, this is more 225 years. Okay, this is basically a recap movie, so I don't think this is the best thing to do. So let's just cut that out. But what I want to say is that we have experienced a lot of floods. A lot of people died in this country, 60s, 70s. There was massive floods. So it's like a dark day in Dutch history. And that's why we didn't want to be good with water. We had to be good with water. In the current city, guys, where I'm sitting right now is 15 meters below sea level. Listen, okay, for the people who didn't hear this, all right? Here we are in a situation, we're 15 meters below sea level. But why am I here? Because we have the best water management system. We have dikes. water into our canals. We reclaimed like so much soil. You need to understand, guys, we have a whole province called Flevoland that didn't exist like, I don't know, 40 years ago or something. I don't know exactly the time, but it didn't exist back then. We created that man-made island. We're the best at island creation, reclaiming soil, water management, keeping water out. We a lot of the engineers that, guys, do you remember? Listen, let me show you this. Did you guys remember like Palm here? This you guys may notice. Guys, this is Palm Island, right? Oh, wait. Okay, guys, this is Palm Island. This was made in Dubai. Can you guys see this? So Palm Island, this was also made with the help of the Dutch people. We created this island. We gave the technology, the basis of how to create such an island, which type of ships you would need, the dikes you would need to protect such an island from floods, earthquakes, seaquakes. We did all these things. So that's why the Netherlands is like a key country. So what is happening right now, guys? Sea level is rising. Floods will happen more. It would be nice to be friends with a country who knows everything about water management, right? So that's why, second reason you need to love the Netherlands. Third reason you need to love it is, well, it's not a thing that you can. It's just basically without this, you're screwed. And this is a company called ASML. We have this company. Let me see if I can find. Oh, let me just Google it and just pull it up for you. You guys can Google it yourself. ASML Netherlands. All right. So, guys, this is ASML. And, oh, what am I doing, guys? This is not good. All right. Guys, this is ASML. So ASML, the world supplier to the semiconductor industry. So guys, what you need to understand about ASML is that ASML is like located near Eindhoven. Dude, they have like insane amount of employees. And basically what ASML does, ASML creates the machine that actually creates the chip. So you can have the technology to create the chip, but if you cannot produce the machine that can create the chip, it doesn't matter. Right, so we are we have what we call we are the only company in the world, ASML, which does it in a way that no other, literally, there's no other company in the world that can make the machines that ASML does. All the chips in your iPhone, in your refrigerator, in your car, in airplanes, in your TV, in your computer, name it. All these things eventually had their point of origin from ASML. Because ASML is the one who created that machine in the first place. So I'm not saying that there are not other companies around the world who can create those machines. Let me see if I can find a lithography. Okay. Okay, this is what you call it. Extreme ultraviolet lithography system. So what this basically means is that what you want is you want chips that are smaller, get smaller and smaller and smaller, but become more powerful and powerful and powerful. But to do that, you need to create a machine that can write information or create patterns on a chip, which you cannot even see with the eye. So that technology to create that chip also needs to get smaller and smaller. The machine and the technique for that is called the extreme ultraviolet lithography systems, right? That's what ASML is king of. And they're like, to be honest, ASML is going to, for a part, decide when quantum computing, or not, I think that's a wrong conclusion because it's a different way of thinking. Sorry, guys, forget that. That was a total stupid argument I was about to make. But what is ASML going to decide is, we'll see if China can catch up. So basically, they say that China currently is like 5 years back from the current things we can make. If they would have access to these machines, it would basically be a level playing field for us. So 3 reasons, guys. So first of all, agriculture, we're the best at that. Become friends with us, guys. We want to have a lot of good relations. We're not Geert Wilders. Please, let's do business. The second thing we're good at is what we call the water management. If your country is going to sink, you need land reclamation. Contact the Netherlands. I'm not official of the Netherlands, but contact them, right? And the third part, as you can see here, is ASML, our ability to create to influence and create the chip industry, right? Okay, those are our 3 key pieces. And then if you would add a 4th piece is our geography with our waterways and our connectivities with other countries. That is what made the Netherlands so rich, guys. It's those 4 things. Listen, there are other parts like banking in the past that we're good at, but what keeps us afloat are those 4 industries, right? So that's the part I have right now. Let me get to another screen. Yeah, guys, I'm using this technique and stuff. I'm using it right now a little bit for the first time. So what I also want to do is maybe look at another part of some interviews. So I want to close with a show here. Give me a second, guys. I'm searching this stuff. Yeah, all right. So here I'm gonna give you a fragment of one of the most popular Dutch shows in the Netherlands, and it's I want to close this for Wilders because it's the #1 talk show in the Netherlands. It's called Vandaag Inside. There are a few characters in there called Johan Derksen, Wilfred Gené, and René van der Grijp. They basically make a show that, and they say things that, to be honest, on no other TV show on planet Earth can say these things that these guys say, because they would be canceled everywhere. But they can say it in a good way. To me, they go over the line sometimes, but to be honest, it's a good show. It's a lot of laughter, but let's go look at a fragment. I'll try to translate for you. I'm going to stop it a little bit to just say you this. To be honest, this clip you guys going to see is like a small reflection of how the Netherlands thinks. Not everybody, let's make sure, because a lot of people think differently, but this is how a part of the Netherlands thought. Okay, here we go.
Kijkt wat nou de...
1 second. Let's go to this one.
Even een hele leuke vraag tussendoor. Dylan, zou je in de toekomst nog een keer samen willen werken met Geert Wilders? Dat bloem uit Bunschoten. Ja, ik denk...
Heb je dat net? Heb je dat net naar jezelf gedeeld?
Okay, small context. This woman here, her name is Dylan Jezilgus. Basically, most people in the Netherlands hate her because I can make an episode about her too. She's a pain in the ass, bro. But she's the leader of the VVD, right? A big party here in the Netherlands. Let's see if we can talk over this a little bit. That's Wilfred Gené. So basically, the question was asked to him from, do you ever want to rule again with Geert Wilders of the PVV? And that's why they started laughing so hard.
Ik heb het vanochtend
maar jij was het eens met die 10 punten. Maar als hij dan graag nog een keer een handtekening eronder zet, dan zet je hem nog een keer een handtekening onder.
Ja, maar ik heb dus tegen... Geert was het niet te doen om die 10 punten, want we hebben gisteren...
Okay, so now again, what did she say? So she's talking about the meeting before the cabinet fell. That's the meeting she's talking about now. And Johan Derksen is like extremely popular, and he has like a big opinion. I don't know who you can compare it with, like in other countries, but he's like very influential. And he's feeling her and talking about like, hey, listen, Wilders had 10 points basically that he wanted to push through. And he said that they agreed on those 10 points, but Dylan didn't want like to sign that. So she's being pressured right now in this moment why she didn't sign it.
En vanochtend, in die 8 minuten dat we even naar binnen mochten zijn, hebben we gezegd, er zijn allerlei manieren om dit gewoon voor elkaar te krijgen.
Ja, maar jullie hebben
niet alle 3 gezegd,
is goed, hier is onze handtekening. Heb je niet gezegd?
Ik heb gezegd, ik heb een motie waarin staat...
Je hebt een motie, werk deze, gezegd, oké, prima,
werk deze 10 punten uit.
Handtekening, dat heb je niet gezegd.
Een motie teken je.
Jullie hadden gewoon even kunnen tekenen. Dat hadden jullie in de eerste stadium ook al gedaan.
Nee, maar waar het om gaat...
Nee, als jij met die 10 punten, dan is het...
I'm gonna get to this, guys. Don't worry.
Precies wat jij net aan het begin zei. Er staan punten onder dat als je ze zo sec leest, dan denk je, kan dit wel of niet. Dus wat hebben wij gezegd?
Okay. Let's wait. All right. These are the 10 points. I'm going to translate these, right? So this was the pact that Geert Wilders wanted the other parliament members, well, not parliament members, this cabinet members, to agree upon. I'll translate for you. So number 1, he wanted to close all borders for refugees. So no more refugees. Well, we're part of the EU, my friend. Like, dude, like, what the hell, right? Okay, second, more guards for the border. And he wanted to use the army for it. Well, to be honest, Geert, I agree with you, number 2. I agree on that point. We have an army, but what are they doing? I don't know if they're fighting. What they're doing. Let them help rebuild the country, I would say, right? So I agree with number 2. Number 3, It says tijdelijke stop gezinshereniging. So what he basically says, temporary stop of family reunification, I guess, right? So basically, if a guy goes to the Netherlands and he has like a family or a woman, his kid, he can bring them all. So that's reuniting the families. Temporary stop, I don't know if that's the smartest thing, my friend. I don't know if you really solve a problem with that. Yeah, you could give an argument for that, but I'm a little bit in the middle of it. But that should not be that big of a point. Okay. Statushouders uit AZC's om plaats te maken voor nieuwe asielzoekers. So he basically says that people who are already granted asylum, they should get out of our asylum centers as fast as possible to make room for new asylum seekers. Well, let's be honest, no problem with that either. Number 5, Syrian people with a temporary status should leave within 6 months because Geert Wilders says, okay, Syria now is again a new government. It's safe there. So you basically, guys, you all need to go fuck yourself and fuck off, right? Doesn't matter which area, go away within 6 months. The country is, Israel is still bombing it. They bombed they're still bombing Israel today, guys. Israel is still bombing Syria today. I don't know what people talking about. It's that safe. It's not. The country, they're still fighting for a lot of areas in that country, still not stable. So 6 months, a little bit harsh. If you say to me, let's say 12 to 24 months, you got me. I think we could work something with that. No new asylum seeker centers only. And oh, okay, I didn't know about this. So he doesn't want any new asylum centers. Okay, fine. And he also wants to like close some of them. Dude, how are you going to close some of those? Because if they can't handle it, you have a lawsuit against you. The asylum seeker organization in the Netherlands sued its own government for like lack of resources and stuff because it was inhumane conditions. Can you understand? We had to send like UNICEF in the Netherlands, like a UNICEF type company. We had to send them to our asylum seeker centers because they were that dirty and had lack of food and shelter and whatever. In the Netherlands, a first world country, we had to send like an aid organization on our own ground. That's like embarrassing, man. Okay, number 7. So they created this law, so they want to like spread the migrants around the country, right? So they don't want that anymore, so they want to concentrate it. I also agree. You should not spread them evenly throughout the country. The reason for that is because you have no control over what they do or what situation. You can maybe say, I don't like that. Well, hey, listen, man. In the end, you're an asylum seeker. I don't know you. You're gonna create social issues. You know, you don't want social issues in every neighborhood. You could rather have a designated area where you do those things. And let's say the municipalities that do that, you can compensate them richly for doing that, right? So I actually agree with that. Number 8, criminals who don't have like a permanent status should lose their status and leave the country. Well, my friend, again, we are in agreement, man. Come on, we are in agreement. Double passport holders that have, violence and conflicts with minors, I guess, like pedos, we should take their Dutch passports if they have dual nationality. Okay, Geert Wilders, to be honest, I'm very glad that you say that. So you're totally right. I agree. We should do that. But is that rule also going to count for Israeli passports? Oh, I thought I would get an answer, but sorry, my bad. I was talking to myself, right? So is that also going to count for Israeli passports? Because I don't know if you know, but Israel is like a haven for American flat pedophiles. I don't know if you know it. It's like that documentaries of it. So if you say that also Israeli people who serve in the IDF, maybe, and if they do that, then I'm totally fine with that. We should also send back Moroccan, whatever country. I'm totally for that, my friend. Really, honestly, I'm totally for it. If you say we're going to get all those people out, you got me on your side. Including them boys. Police will get more rights to basically end demonstrations. I'm 50-50 on this point. So at the one hand, yes. So Extinction Rebellion, basically, they hijacked like one of the biggest freeways, like a freeway, guys, like a 3-lane, 2-lane freeway. They hijacked it and they cut off access to The Hague, our political capital, right? And they did that many, many times. And in my opinion, and then it was like about climate, and for like a few times the Dutch people accepted it. Okay, sit on the freeway basically, right? You block traffic. just a working day, for hours and hours. And in the beginning, the police was, and then the government were like, okay, let's leave these people, right? Let's take it easy. Let's not do anything irrational. So that was basically like the first instinct. And then they took on too long, and then they were like, dude, get these people out of there. And what's bothering people is like the unequal use of force in different demonstrations. So if we have a protest for Palestina, you can better believe the police, if they need to use force, they're definitely going to use that. They're not going to talk too much. If it's Extinction Rebellion and it's sitting on the floor of the what I would say the freeway, then they can sit there for hours and we go talk with them. We don't use any batons. We don't do anything. And sometimes when they have demonstrations for right-wing IDs on a large square in the DA called Malieveld, it's like a grass field, really big, like thousands of people can stand there. It's like a park. They use batons and stuff. So the unequal treatment, also with the damn Maccabi Haifa supporters. I don't care what any media station says. We live in the Netherlands. Those Maccabi supporters, they misbehave like dogs. They ripped flags off. They mistreated our cab drivers. They said that to Arabs in our Amsterdam street. I don't care what anybody said. And our Dutch government compensated them for all the horrible treatment they had. The Dutch government, you should be ashamed of yourself that you gave those guys money. You cannot pay back our parents that their children were taking from them. And the toeslagen affair, right? Like a financial affair. You couldn't compensate them, but you could compensate those Maccabi people in like weeks. It's like, disgusting. Like really disgusting. So let's go back to our list. So closing borders, those were like the 10 points. So guys, if you heard clearly what I said, I agree with a lot of those points. Let's say 60% of what he put in there, I agreed with. That's what this is about. And Dylan Jezilgus of the VVD didn't want to put her signature as her party leader behind these 10 points. That is why this whole thing got a little bit out of control, I guess, but it was a lot more adding up to it. Let's watch a little bit more what they say.
Doe hier nou eens even een alinea bij. Wat bedoel je precies? Want dan kunnen we het gewoon waarmaken. Want in essentie, een heleboel van die punten staan in mijn eigen verkiezingsprogramma. Ben ik helemaal niet op tegen. Alleen als je het zo opschrijft en het kan niet uitgevoerd worden.
Maar pak even een paar uit die niet kunnen nu.
Hij heeft, nee, maar dat is niet aan mij. Nee, dat is niet aan mij.
Ik kan er wel meerdere bedenken.
Nee, maar dat is
Jawel.
dus...
Jij bent de kenner hier.
Maar Wilfried, dat is precies het punt. Wij hebben tegen Geert gezegd... Of noem even de punten waarvan je zegt... die vind ik nu zo belangrijk, dat is me dit waard. Hij zei, ik ga het helemaal niet... Dat ga ik helemaal niet geven. Dat ga ik helemaal niet op. Dat hebben we andersom gezegd. Laat dan Faber een beetje uitwerken of werk zelf een beetje uit, zodat we het weten. Als je zegt bijvoorbeeld, ik wil overal grensbewaking. Dan zeg je, de KMAR of Marseillais of het leger wil ik daar naartoe hebben. Nou, dat zijn doorgaans niet mensen die thuis zitten te draaien en te wachten op een opdracht.
Meestal niet.
Die houden ons elders nu veilig. Dus
de vraag is, kan je überhaupt het leger in die functie gebruiken?
Maar los daarvan, dan vraag ik dus...
Zien dat het een politiek spel is, als je echt dacht dat het een politiek spel was.
Well, okay, it's not that interesting to be honest. Okay, so they're just speaking about it a little bit generally. But there you saw Dylan Jezilgus from VVD discussing with like the general public, and basically they were asking her, okay, why did you not put that signature in there? Blah de blah de blah de blah. Right? That's basically what they say in there. But to be honest and to be fair, guys, the Netherlands is currently a clown show. I just can't deny it anymore. I've said it many times. We have problems with finances. We have a migration crisis. We have a province called Limburg that was flooded. Still no solution for. We have a northern province called Groningen, which we collected gas from for, I don't know, 30 years or plus. And we made billions of them. It resulted in earthquakes. A lot of houses been damaged. Still, none of those houses have been fixed. The moral of the story is this, guys. The Netherlands has lost its ability to repair past mistakes. And the moment that happens is mostly a sign of a declining civilization. So for ISA, I want to tell all of you guys, I'm not the bearer of bad news. I just want to be honest. All key indicators, economy, war, social problems, migration, inflation, tariffs of Donald Trump, right? Tariffs. We have too many problems at the moment. And you see people and guys around me, when I talk to them, they're a little bit desperate, to be honest. Seriously, desperate. 1 second. Yeah, Selecta?
We hebben een melding gekregen op YouTube, waarschuwing. Er is we hebben videomateriaal in je stream gevonden dat van iemand anders is.
All right, okay.
Maar je kan verder gaan.
We'll cut that out. Okay. Probably too long. Watch another video. All right, okay. So basically, what this is about is, guys, listen. I ain't gonna lie, man. This is a really tough situation currently. So I talked to a lot of young men in the Netherlands also, similar to other Western countries. They're having it tough. Social problems, like I said, economic problems, not a good outlook. They don't know what to study. AI, what should I not do? Like thousands of problems they basically have. And the biggest problem they have is they don't see a clear light at the end of the tunnel. What we try to create here is give them a formula called MDW5, motivation, discipline, willpower, and the 5 people around you. I made a podcast about it. Just watch the video. I would say it was in Romania. That's what we're trying to do. We try to fix the earning capacity of young men. We have a foundation also attached to it, which we're soon going to do some nice things with. There are some upcoming promotions coming on. But what I want to say to all young guys, hey guys, listen, I know it's messed up. Just wait. Let me get this one. Guys, listen, I know it's tough, man. I'm not going to lie. Auto switch, right? Like I need to work on this, guys. Okay. My message to you guys is hang in there. It's going to get a little bit better. It's going to be tough. I know it's not what it's supposed to be. I know it's really tough. Follow the material we gave. This podcast is going to come on more and more and more. We're going to cover some live events. There are a lot of things we're going to speak about. I know it's, especially now with a new government, what do I need to vote? What do I not need to vote? Just keep watching us. We'll keep getting out new content. We're going to have a business 101 show. We're going to talk about clothes. We're going to talk about travel. We're going to talk about the religion. There are a lot more subjects that are going to come. And maybe everybody here that's watching right now think, Faye, this guy, you're talking about a bunch of damn nonsense, right? You could maybe say that. You could maybe think like, what the hell? Listen, you're like, dude, I don't want nothing to do with you. Maybe it's like this. Maybe you're laughing, bro. Maybe you're laughing. So what I wanted to say regarding that is that maybe you think I'm wrong. And that's fine. I totally understand that. But ask yourself this. What if I'm right and you're wrong? And with that, I want to close this podcast. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys soon. Selecta, do we have any announcements we do need to make before closing the show? No, we good? Then it's going to be peace out for us. Selecta, give me some music, please. All right, guys. Peace and bounce. Yo, Select. Close it out.